Sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. 3 judges score the bout. The bout duration is 3 5-minute rounds. For title fights and all main events, we go 5 5-minute rounds. A 10-point must-scoring system is in effect. The round winner gets 10 points, his or her opponent 9 or fewer, and scoring is based on effective striking and grappling, followed by aggression and then octagon control in that order. All right, 5 hours of live UFC action coming your way here on FS1. Unbeaten Chilean prospect Diego Rivas was on the UFC's Ultimate Fighter Latin America tonight. He returns to face fellow up-and-comer Noad Lahat. As an MMA pioneer in his native Chile, Diego Rivas has the weight of a nation on his shoulders every time he fights. But he rose above the pressure in defeating Rodolfo Rubio in his UFC debut last November. And it's clear the Pitbull is prepared for anything in his way. Tonight, the man looking to pin a loss on his record is Israeli featherweight prospect Noad Lahat, whose back-to-back wins over Steven Siler and Nicholas Backstrom have him staring at a bright future in 2016 and beyond. Coming up next, Diego Pitbull Rivas meets Noad Lahat. All right, here's Diego Rivas, 6-0 in his MMA career, making his second UFC appearance here tonight, just 24 years old. Big underdog tonight against Noad Lahat.
Well, showed some solid boxing skills in his UFC debut, obviously coming off the Ultimate Fighter Latin America Season 1. But that was his base, boxing, really where he began, and now he's evolved to so much more. He trained at Rain Training Center with the likes of Mark Munoz for a while until that gym shut down. Then he's moved this camp now to King's MMA. Obviously training a lot on his ground game, expecting that that's where Noad Lahat wants to take this fight.
Rivas, pretty powerful guy. You see there, 2 wins by knockout or TKO, another 2 by way of submission. 3 of those 4 finishes coming in round 1. Here's a kid who started training when he was 16 years old, really to distract himself after his mother had passed away. And 8 years later, made his way to the UFC. Ran into Gabriel Benitez on the Ultimate Fighter Latin America, but made good on his UFC debut to keep his perfect professional record intact.
And the real question is how much has he improved on his takedown defense in his ground game? Early in his career, able to watch some of his fights inside of Chile, you see the takedown defense is almost non-existent, no real threat off his back. However, I've seen a steady improvement in that through the Ultimate Fighter in his last fight against Rubio Perez. But he's going to need more tonight against Noad Lahat.
He is the second Israel native to compete in the UFC, and Noad Lahat is in fine current form. Back-to-back wins over Nicholas Backstrom and Steven Siler to improve his pro record to 9-1, representing the American Kickboxing Academy in San Jose.
He just recently returned from Israel, where he had participated in the conflict between the Gaza Strip and the Israeli army. Still in the reserves in the Israeli army to date. So has to obviously tend to those duties as well as his career. But went to Brazil early on. He said he wanted to be a master in one thing before he went in MMA. So he competed in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, became a master, went to Brazil to learn it from the best in the business, received his black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, a high-level guy when he gets on the ground. Now at American Kickboxing Academy, looking to round out his game. Training with the likes of Daniel Cormier with his wrestling there. You see Bob Cook. Really steadily improvement in his striking game to become a well-rounded mixed martial artist. Believes he can strike with Rivas, but knows obviously he has a big advantage on the ground. We'll see how quickly he chooses to try and get the fight there.
Noad Lahat started judo at 5 years old, transitioned to jiu-jitsu after his military service in Israel, as you alluded to. Realized a no-gi Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu World Championship back in 2010. Now 31 years old and in front of his 4th UFC start. Tale of the Tape is sponsored by Bud Light, the perfect beer for whatever happens. Noad Lahat representing Israel is 31. Diego Rivas is 24. Lahat is 1 inch taller. He weighed in at 145 pounds. 144 for Rivas. Both men enter the octagon with a reach of 69 inches. All right, now to get us started with the official introductions, here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas for UFC Fight Night, Hendricks versus Thompson. And now, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC featherweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding an undefeated professional record. 6 wins, no losses. He stands 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighing in at 144 pounds. Fighting out of Chocho, Chile, by way of Los Angeles, California, Diego Pitbull Rivas. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a jiu-jitsu fighter, holding a professional record, 9 wins, 1 loss. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing in at 145 pounds. Fighting out of San Jose, California, by way of Israel, Noad Lahat. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Mark Smith.
Mark Smith, third man in the octagon for this one. Ariane Celeste with us tonight for the FS1 UFC Fight Night prelims. Chrissy and Vanessa on hand as well as we kick things off here in the featherweight division.
Noad, ready?
With Noad Lahat and Diego Rivas. Lahat is in the black trunks and Rivas in the white. And you know, for Diego Rivas, Brian, still very much a developing fighter, 6-0. It's always interesting to see what type of strides these guys have made since their last UFC start.
He is making his rounds to train just about everywhere in Southern California. 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, Rain Training Center before it closed. Now this camp at King's MMA.
Go right there.
So we got an early eye poke here.
Diego, go right there. Coach.
Doctor is in to examine the eye of Noad Lahat.
Oh, right there, you see the right pinky.
Good. Okay. Go right there for me. Ooh. You got to watch the fingers, okay? Do not let it happen again. Up or closed, all right?
Lahat's eyes seem to be cleared now. No more blinking.
Time here. Fight.
Improved leg kick defense already from Rivas. I've watched him eat many of them in his earlier fights in Chile. They're just lean the knee to the outside, so he didn't really take it on the nerve. An early takedown from Lahat. That is expected. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Very well versed with his submission skills. This is where he knew he owned a massive advantage in this fight. You can see, look how tense Rivas is off his back. Nice work to get an overhook here, an underhook. Going to try and he was trying to look for a sweep, and unfortunately, it's an experienced guy like Lahat. He used it to pass him out. Now looking for a guillotine. He's going to clasp both hands. This is going to get tight.
Rivas initially giving the thumbs up to the referee, trying to squeak that head out.
A very smart job by Rivas. It looks like his chin maybe clamped to his chest so that Lahat's not underneath it. But this is still a tremendous crank on the neck of Diego Rivas. And you can see Lahat's relaxing now so he doesn't burn out his arms. Still has a good mount here. Now Rivas is going to give his back. Oh, and able to regain half guard. Nice work there from Rivas.
Lahat continuing to work here on the ground, under 3 minutes to go in round 1.
And this is exactly what we expected. And I wondered if Lahat would want to strike and just put on a show. Sometimes guys avoid going to their area of greatest advantage because they want to test out those new skills, and a lot of times they pay a price for doing so. But Lahat intelligently immediately got to the ground. And look at Rivas throwing up a triangle attempt there. And Lahat immediately back into mount. Just a different level on the ground. Excellent job floating, gets both hooks in, now working for the rear naked choke.
That is one of the go-to submissions for Lahat.
And, you know, for Rivas now, he's tried to play jiu-jitsu a little bit here, but now it's time for him to fight the position and explode back up to his feet as soon as he can. He is completely outmatched on the ground here so far.
And for Lahat, as he's put together a winning streak, now the stakes are raised, so you don't necessarily want to play around. Take the fight where you are strongest, and certainly that is what he has done through 3+ minutes.
Well, you can see some of that now. He's working on a head and arm choke. Rivas trying to fight that elbow across, unable to do it. Now he's doing what he call it answering the phone to defend the head and arm choke, but sometimes that's not enough against really good guys. That's not enough to defend the choke. We'll see if Lahat can sink this in. You see Rivas staying very calm, giving the thumbs up to the referee. What Rivas got to try to do, you see he's got his right hand trapped there. If he could extend that right arm, he could try and grab his own leg. Nice job, though, as he's able to at least get back to mount, but he gives his back again.
Oh, nice elbow by Lahat. Just over a minute now with which to work here off of the back of Diego Rivas.
And you can see Rivas doing a nice job of addressing the submission, but he's not immediately improving his position so that he can escape. You know, Lahat is just 2 steps ahead of him right now everywhere.
And the control time, of course, starting to pile up.
And right back to mount again. This time, though, better for Rivas. It's against the fence. Nicely done there from Rivas. I'd like to see Lahat on the ground integrate more strikes. I think that will open up his submissions a little bit more. Now he's going to look for a possible guillotine. It's Rivas going for a takedown of his own. And it's just a mistake. You know, when you finally get back to your feet, he could have had an opportunity there to separate and get back to where he's strong in the striking arsenal. Went for a takedown and ends right back up on his back. Dominant first round for Lahat.
Very nice work, okay? Very nice. Good footwork on the feet. Just keep him first. What you got, Rick?
Okay, you got to look at the overhand. See, he does it again. Take him down again, okay?
Very nice, okay? He's got nothing for you on the ground. Punch your way into the clinch. Take him down.
He only showed 1 punch. So use that jab a little bit more.
This time, I want a little more damage on the ground, so we're going to soften him up so we can get the finish later.
Break him down, okay?
The FS1 UFC Fight Night prelims are sponsored by Bud Light, the perfect beer for whatever happens. We listened into the Lahat corner between rounds. You and Crazy Bob Cook of a similar mind in terms of what Lahat needs to do once he gets Rivas down.
Yeah, and that's something that happens to a lot of young fighters who come from primarily a jiu-jitsu base, is they don't integrate enough strikes to create some openings for their submissions. And it's tough. You know, Lahat's coming off a pretty long layoff because of his military service. And, you know, for Rivas, he's got to avoid the clinch. And, oh, huge knee, he got him!
Wow! About Diego Rivas! Wow! And Neil Lahat is still out. A huge win for the still undefeated Diego Rivas. You know, wasn't even breathing heavy after a first round that was so dominant for Lahat.
And, you know, he survived the tough positions in round 1 and timed this knee perfectly.
Chile, Manuel, Federico, Isaías también.
The move of the fight is sponsored by Metro PCS, where you get nationwide coverage on the blazing fast 4G LTE T-Mobile network for $30, period.
Look at the timing and the accuracy. And look, I mean, that shows, he got pretty high off the ground. This kid is an athlete. He knew Lahat was going to want to come out and take him down immediately. He baited him, waited on it, and perfectly placed flying knee. That was a very, very loud snap, John.
One of the louder, more emphatic flying knee knockouts you will ever see. What do you think will be the best move of the night? Strong contender there. Tweet and let us know at #MetroMove, and tune into the FS1 UFC Fight Night post-fight show immediately following the main event for the winning move. You can be sure we will talk to Diego Rivas and get you the official decision as we continue live from Vegas. All right, they continue to attend to Noad Lahat. Diego Rivas with a big moment. Let's get it to Bruce Buffer with the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Mark Smith's called a stop to this contest at 23 seconds of round number 2. Declaring the winner by knockout, Diego Pitbull Rivas.
So as the medics attend to Noad Lahat, we won't go in there and talk to Diego Rivas. What a moment for this young, undefeated fighter, though.
Unbelievable. The first round, had Lahat landed more ground strikes, could have potentially been a 10-8 round. That's how dominant it was. But he survived. And it just goes to show you never know in these fights. He survived each position. He was mounted several times, rear naked choke attempts, and comes back and times that flying knee perfectly.
All right, back to Vegas after this as the FS1 UFC Fight Night prelims continue live.